Okay, back to playing Roottrees are dead. Continue. Oh, wait. That was the wrong button. Yeah, wrong button. Save and quit. Anyway, back to playing Roottrees are dead. Gonna play a new game. Play Roottreemania. Roottreemania will spoil unlocked content. Make sure you've tied up any loose ends before starting. Spoil unlocked content. I'm sure it's fine. Excited to see where this goes.
Hi, I'm Clark. Probably not who you
Oh
expected
shit,
to
it's
be knocking,
Clark.
but life's funny sometimes. You've done well staying anonymous. It took us a while to track you down. A lot has happened in the last year. Far
Year.
too much of it public. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes, too.
I thought it'd be like a bit longer.
I never wanted to be president. I'm not
He's
here to
president now?
criticize. With my mother's deteriorating I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here because part of the fallout of Sam's book is that everyone's coming out of the woodwork. Now that it's public knowledge that Clanson Trust covers any root tree despite their history with us, a lot of potential cousins have surfaced.
Damn.
You
Okay.
may have seen that man on the cover of News Time. It was a disaster for us.
I did not.
And then Miracle went and made it all about himself.
Oh.
The long and short
Okay.
of it is, a lot of potential cousins just showed up. Sam's helping some of them, but she's not really going about it the right way. And she's not taking calls from anyone in the family.
Oh fuck, Sam's gone rogue.
I let it slip through a mutual friend that I found you, and I was stopping in. It's manipulative, but I'm hoping she'll reach out to you. You can let her know I'm on her side. In the
Hmm.
meantime, if you're willing, I can share our files with you. Pass them along to Sam if she reaches out. I'm genuinely hoping she'll realize I'm an ally. Feel free to do your own research. I've been told you enjoy things like this. To each their own.
Nope. Okay, I didn't even fucking close the door on him. Okay. Now wait a second. Oh yes. Nothing different, right? Okay, I won't do this right now. I'll do this later. Notable events. Today is August 3rd, 1999. It has been 8 months since you helped Sam Madsen with the research necessary for her book. Sam was true to her word. Oh man, Sam was true to her word and paid you an incredibly large sum of money. She never mentioned you by name. However, you she never mentioned you by name, however, so you've managed to keep a low profile. The Roottrees, on the other hand, have not. Below is a summary of notable events since the book's release that you can refresh your memory in full detail by searching online. 6 pieces. Sam Manson's book about Elias Rootree was released in February. It was a bestseller for a few months. At the time, Carl yet had not yet been replaced. 6 pieces of Rootree Rift, Clark Rafferty LaRoe, 5 Ps, Roottreemania, not a mom. In March, the Rootree company stumbled publicly as they attempted to respond to the book's release, with multiple conflicting press releases and a clear lack of leadership. Clark was announced as the permanent successor to Carl Rootree and welcomed Sam Madsen to the family officially. The company hired an outside legal group to handle the changes to the Clancy Trust. This included any other new questions of lineage. Hmm. Wait, real quick. Oh shit. Clark Rafferty LaRoe. Oh, he has a new picture. Oh, a couple new additions. Was it just that him? Oh, okay, maybe it's just him. Oh, there's Clark. Or there's Chris. New picture for Chris. New pic for Zach. Neat. I thought she was supposed to give birth by now. There was something about someone giving birth around Christmas. Okay. No new additions to the family besides just the pictures. Oh lord. Oh, I didn't realize how big this was. Infidelity 1, Infidelity 2. Oh shit. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. You'll have to be extra sleuthy with this time around to deduce the truth. Pay close attention to what you find and be sure to look at the loose ends. Okay. Back to the notable events. Changes the clans of trust includes any new questions of lineage. 5 Ps. After this announcement, there was a rash of different people claiming to be Roottrees, mostly dismissed as opportunists and scammers. The highest profile of these, by a wide margin, was a rapper named Felix Fellows, who changed his moniker to 5 Ps as a publicity move at the same time. 5 Ps is the only notable person on the updated tree. 5 Ps. Why would you name yourself that, bro? Roottreemania. In another high-profile misstep, Miracle Roottree publicly and vehemently denied that 5 Ps was a Roottree. Great job. The Roottree's legal team then offered to do a DNA test to get 5 Ps to drop his claim, and, in a moment that caught what seemed like the entire world by storm, the test proved he was a Roottree. Suddenly, the world was obsessed with the Roottrees. Damn. Anonymom and Jane Doe Roottree. In July, an anonymous woman, who the press began to refer to as Anonymom, appeared in interviews with her face and voice disguised. She claimed that an affair with a Rootree led to the birth of her daughter, aka Jane Doe Roottree. If true, this would make her daughter yet another secret Rootree, and therefore entitled to a share of the clans of trust. Nobody knew it at the time, but this would turn out to be the last chapter in the Roottreemania saga. As more and more of Anonymom's story came out, people began to notice how much it echoed 5 Ps in nearly every significant way. The court of public opinion began to turn. Confirming the world's suspicions, the DNA test, orchestrated by lawyers on both sides, proved that her daughter was not a Rootree. Damn! This final event caused public disappointment, smugness from doubters, and countless accusations of the entire ordeal being an elaborate hoax or attempted fraud. Things got a bit ugly, and the fun of Roottreemania seemed to disappear overnight. Now, 2 months later, it feels like a distant memory. Damn. Previously on The Roosters Are Dead. This is a new investigation with a new focus after many months of newfound interest in the Rootrees. It is recommended you try to catch up with some of what happened since last time. Some web searches may yield new or different results, and some books and magazines from your previous investigation may be relevant to your new one. It's also a much more widespread search. The list of first and last names you can choose from will contain red herrings. Not all of them will be used. Oh god. Below is a reminder of some of the most notable beats of your initial dive into the Rootree family tree. All evidence from before is still available, and for your convenience, any searches that do not lead to new information still function as they did during your first investigation. The Rootree Candy Company was founded by Elias and Gwyneth many years ago. The entire family has a financial reliance on the health of that company. Most of the action took place in or around Butler County, Pennsylvania, where the company was initially located. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Elias, Carl, and Raina were on the cover of magazines. Yep. Other notable Roottrees such as Lauren, Miracle, and Jim had physical media such as record albums, books, and movies associated with them. Do I not get to keep any of them? I printed them out myself. Lauren's 2 diaries were probably the most useful resources overall, mentioning many of her relatives directly. The 5 pieces, Elias's children, could be identified based on the initials of the original candy flavors. There were 5 presidents of the Rootree Company. Many were featured in periodicals. Caroline Morden, Stephanie Jones, and Brian Jones were featured in campaign posters, and led to Caroline's art book, which enabled you to fill out more of the tree. Hmm. Okay. Oddly specific. Uh. Well, yeah. I guess they did lead to a lot of others. Many of the younger root trees were found by following a complex rabbit hole through a conspiracy site that led to finding a searchable web address for Chris Rafferty, Lauren's grandson. Chris Raff75. Yes. November root tree was really difficult to place. The only hint was found via Brian Jones's company's website. She wasn't too difficult. Ronald and his brother Robert Rootree go by Ron and Robbie. Both worked on a TV show called Brother Trouble until Robbie embezzled money and fled to Paris. Ron unsuccessfully tried to have Robbie removed from the clan's trust. Uh, Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. There were also a few dead ends and red herrings. Aloysius Herring Rootree, who claimed he was a Rootree but was not. Family Man, a book about Elias Rootree, turned out to be propaganda and not useful. Lawrence's other books, historical and romance novels, were not very useful on their own, though could lead to other information. Caroline Morden's sculptures were not useful, but they were good. Unexpected visitor. Today, August 3rd, 1999, there was a knock at your door. Chris Rafferty LaRoe, the current president of the Rootree Candy Company. Uh, it's weird that he took on her last name. Uh, explained that multiple people have come out of the woodwork to claim to be Roottrees. He has been trying to work with Sam, but she has not answered his calls. He also handed you a letter that he said you could share with Sam that said the following. To both of you. The company I hired to help us with the Clancy Trust is busy pouring through the entire family's history, as well as people they may have had contact with. That said, the family is not particularly happy with this, and are doing their best to slow things down. Many of them are actively avoiding our interviews. Every time there's a high-profile public case, it causes headaches. So please, I don't mind if you do your research, but I ask that you stop going to the press. Instead, we have a highly trained team of lawyers to back you up. We're ready and willing to verify anyone and everyone you believe could be realistically part of a relationship that led to the birth of a new root tree. Just tell us who to investigate by filling in the new sections of the tree, and we'll take the time to handle verifying the timeline checks out. But keep in mind why we're here. If someone didn't have a child or has already been disqualified by our lawyers, like in the case of the girl with the negative DNA test, there won't be a place for them on the tree. We're not just looking for affairs and infidelities, we're only looking for the ones that lead to potential new root trees. Some spots in the news section will be marked with a tree icon. Those areas are reserved for members of the original family tree you filled in 8 months ago. Just like the last time, be sure to use birth names for everyone you add. Married names or nicknames won't be enough. Right. To start sorting at the infidelities, I recommend you turn your eyes to the men in positions of power. Yeah, makes sense. I love to say that's only because it would have been a lot harder for the woman to hide 9 months of pregnancy and birth without the family noticing. But I can't. Okay, that's interesting. I'll be blunt, I'm no stranger to infidelity. I wish I could claim that I was a perfect husband, but you've seen the family tree, so why pretend? Some of us learned how to wield our family name and fortune to our benefit. Consequences be damned. I can't change the past or unhurt those who I betrayed. Instead, all I can do is be honest with myself and to you, refuse to make any mistakes, and do my best to sort out the various messes we've left behind. So please, fill in the tree, and together we can figure out how to begin to make amends. Good luck, and thank you both. Clark. Okay. Okay. So, okay, trees are the people from the original family tree who are the source of these extra branches. Okay. Family tree update. Oh. Oh. Okay. So that's probably Stephanie and Brian. Yeah, that makes sense. That seems like a good place to start. Uh. Oh. This fuck ass connection. All right. Uh. Oh wait, Stephanie. Jones. Older version of this page in the time travel archive. Uh, Bare Bones website. Yeah. Seems Brian Jones has been busy updating Stephanie Jones' campaign website. Two new sections exist. The first is Baby Photo. There you see a picture of their new family together in the hospital. According to the site, our daughter was named after her grandmother, which ended up being very fitting considering she was born the night before Christmas. Our daughter was named after her grandmother. Okay. Which ended up being very fitting considering she was born the night before Christmas. The second is what's next. There's not much of substance there right now, but it lists some small accomplishments and finishes with the recent rise in popularity and controversy surrounding my extended family. There's been some extra attention on me. Stay tuned for announcements in the coming months about how I plan to use this publicity to accomplish bigger and better things. Good lord, I keep stumbling over words. Okay. And then, yeah, okay, just leaves a. Let's check that out. Cute. New daughter's wearing an adorable little Santa hat, and his wife Stephanie is giving her a signature thumbs up move from her campaign literature. Nice. Okay. Let's go back here. Stephanie, Brian, Landon. Stephanie Landon, right? Yeah. Politics. And the baby. Named after her grandmother. Who is either Carolina or Eloise, and I don't know which of those have anything to do with before Christmas. I will hope that it's. Oh shit. Oh, Carol. Christmas Carol. Carol Jones. Baby. Alright, let's check out more about her. Butler County Times. Stephanie Jones. This page hasn't been updated for at least 8 months and about now might be irrelevant. Okay. Okay. Let's look at Clark Rafferty LaRoe. Older version of this page. Clancy Trust was mentioned many times in Business Watch. Most results are from 4050s. More recent references creep in. Context is clear that allows the child of Roottrees family to earn money based on the profits of the candy company. First article you can find from 1943 mentions that the infallible legal aspects of it were designed by Clancy Edward Rootree to secure the future of his father's famous. Dear God, secure the future of his father's famous name. You might be able to find more details online. Weird. Clark Rafferty LaRoe, as well as Ruby Spratt. Who's Ruby Spratt? And her company Ruby Legal Enterprises were featured in Business Watch after the company took over as keepers of the Clancy Trust. Okay. There's an article about that process that interviews both Clark and Ruby. It seems that Ruby actually approached the Roottrees sometime in late March after the Rootree Rift, but well before Roottreemania. An accomplished but relatively low-profile lawyer, she offered to work for very little money, so long as she could be a public face to build her reputation. The family quickly jumped on this chance, as many family members often attempt to spend as little as possible to keep their shares of the Clancy Trust as high as possible. After looking over the Clancy Trust more carefully than anyone had in years, Ruby came to the conclusion that Clancy Edward Rootree's implementation was not legally sound and that there would be constant legal challenges without some modifications. The family decided to put her in charge of the trust, both legally and as a public face, to prevent further issues. Ruby Legal Enterprises has been described as a mix between a law firm and a PR firm. Do I have a first book? Okay, I do. dear God. Legal stuff. Okay. I'm gonna use this how I saw some other people use this now that I watched some other people play the main game. Uh, Ruby Sprat and her company, Ruby Legal Enterprises. After the Roottrees rift, but well before Roottreemania. An accomplished relatively low profile for families have been in charge of the trust both legally and in a public phase to prevent further issues. Ruby Legal Enterprises has been described as a law firm and a PR firm. First move is sort of a trial run. Oof. Her first move as sort of a trial run before she even hired permanently was to help them draft a public statement accepting Sam into the family and declaring that they'd begin to address the Clancy Trust. This went quite well, and they officially hired her in early April. Ruby Legal is now in charge of many financial aspects of the company, including verifying any claims to the trust and organizing the various charitable causes, such as scholarships, that have been set up in the name of the deceased. Okay. Ruby approached the Roottrees sometime in late March after the Roottrees rift, but before Roottreemania. That might be important. Clancy Edward Roottrees' implementation was not legally sound. There would have some modifications. Ruby Sprat, like her legal company, is relatively elusive. The most complete source of information you can find from before her time with the Roottrees is from the website for a magazine owned by a major airline. From the website for a magazine owned by a major airline. She was the subject of one article from a recurring series about modern-day success stories. Grew up in foster care, but excelled at... Oh, she's definitely part of the fucking family. Ruby grew up in foster care, but excelled at school and earned a scholarship to study at Mideastern University. I'll put Ruby Legal. There she graduated at the top of her legal class and was quickly hired as a lawyer for a prominent firm. There are a few high-profile corporate-involved cases she was a part of. One was a legal consultant for a class action lawsuit against the manufacturer of steering wheel covers. Another was to help a local gas station chain in her homeland of Portland, with a rollout of a promotion that allowed gas station customers the ability to bet on the price of gas. The rollout of a promotion that allowed gas station customers the ability to bet on the price of gas. The blurb ends by calling her new firm a double threat. Her company's services are a cross between a traditional lawyer and a PR manager. Can you do that? Bet on the price of gas? Okay, go back to Business Wash, I guess. Oh, damn, I still have that shit saved. That's crazy. Okay, let's just leave the same page. Ruby Legal Enterprises is the name of the law firm that has been hired by the Roottrees Candy Company. The company is named after its head lawyer, Ruby Sprat. Can't find much about this company from before this year, though all the articles tell the same tale. After the fiasco of Six Pieces and the revelation that the Roottrees internal law group was complicit in such a cover-up, they hired outside counsel. The Ruby Legal Enterprise Group now seems to have ties to multiple aspects of the Roottrees Corporation, including the candy company and Root. They were recently in the news due to a high-profile lawsuit they raised against Cicely Sanchez. Okay, so recently in the news for Cicely Sanchez. Cicely Sanchez is an author best known for Portrait of a Changed Man. Uh, for Guy Hudson. Oh shit. Okay. Cicely Sanchez. Author best known for Portrait of a Changed Man. Her follow-up Foreign Gospel. Not performed as well critically. Still sold quite respectably. Let's highlight all that. She has written a few more books since then, including a biography of Van Gogh, but refers to her claim to fame. Her nonfiction focused on exploring darkness and the human psyche. Cicely appeared in a magazine called Picote, uh, with an article about a book she had been commissioned to write for Guy Hudson. Magazine Cicely herself immediately issued a cease and desist due to its inclusion of pictures that she never had the rights to publish. The issue was pulled from store shelves, making it an instant collector's item. So Picote, huh? Picote magazine. There we go. Picote magazine is a publication that, as far as you can tell, has no consistent theme. It tends to contain tabloid-esque articles that appeal to a wider variety of audiences, and appears in many grocery stores near the checkout line. Unlike traditional tabloids, it doesn't typically feature celebrities on the cover. Instead, it tends to latch onto and create sensationalist headlines about whatever subject appears to be popular at any given time. In recent years, this has included Beanie Babies, Magic Eye images, and even Red Bull. Has often come under fire for printing fiction along with facts. Picote gets around this by stating in every issue that all of its articles are all the hearsay that's fit to print. During the height of Roottreemania, Picote featured an article about Cicely Sanchez, an author. She claims to have written an unread book about Guy Hudson. Okay. Yeah, just keep it there. Article is not even the main focus of the issue, yet the magazine was threatened legally by the Roottrees Corporation. The particular issue, The Big Sass Sea Bass, was pulled from shelves. Especially amongst conspiracy theorists attempting to figure out what the Roottrees company was hiding, you find a recently finished online auction that listed a copy at over $1,000, though nobody bid. Okay. Let's go to Picotia. In an issue that focused on a talking toy fish and the demonic messages it supposedly said as the batteries ran low, Piketty had an article about a cancelled book by Cicely Sanchez. The book's subject was Guy Hudson, and the issue was said to contain pictures that Cicely did not have the rights to publish. Because of the pictures, this issue was pulled from store shelves, making it the subject of some conspiracies and an instant collector's item. Due to this recall, the version found in these archives is incomplete. Damn. Ah, damn it. In an issue that focused on. Oh, okay. Rootree Sisters. A week after the Rootree sisters died in a plane crash, Piketty focused an expose on the pilot and co-pilot, widely seen as completely useless and an intentional mischaracterization. What the hell did I just say? An intentional mischaracterization of the two crew members. For example, they claimed that the co-pilot, who was pilot flying that day, was on pharmaceuticals, but it turned out that he had purchased a mild pain reliever in the airport gift shop the night before. They also claimed the pilot had been let go from his previous position at a much larger airline, which was true, but only as part of a downsize. As far as you can tell, none of this is relevant to your current investigation. Mm. Oops, that's not 6. Okay. Unread book about Guy Hudson. Cicely Sanchez. Wait, I just have her books here. Public Library, Cicely Sanchez, Portrait of a Changed Man. Out of print. Softcover nonfiction. What if everything you stand for, everything you know to be true today, could disappear in an instant? All your politics, relationships gone in the blink of an eye. Would you still be you? Cicely Sanchez tells this powerful true story about a man who woke up after being saved from drowning in his backyard pool and became an entirely different person. Included are interviews from those that knew him best before, as well as one-on-one chat that paints an entirely different picture. You won't be able to put it down without wondering, what if that were me? Foreign Gospel. Foreign Gospel tells a tale of a man from the Catholic Church who claims he was told by God that he should travel to Thailand and began to preach, specifically with the goal to convert 10,000 people. He returned to the United States after just over 2 years, claiming to have succeeded. The book tells his version of the story, but the author, Cicely Sanchez, also traveled to Thailand to investigate these claims and talk with some of the so-called converted. Okay. Big sass sea bass is a talking fish that sits in a fake mount on your wall. When you press the button and speak into it, it makes your voice and then insults you. Damn, bro. Many people consider it a ripoff of a more popular, wall-mounted communication-based fish decoration, but the packaging makes it clear that this one does not sing. Instead, what the advertisement says sets Big, Big Sass Sea Bass apart from his competitors is a sardonic and sarcastic wit that will leave you reeling with laughter. It's oceans of fun for the whole family. You'll be hooked on this big sassy bass. The words reeling, oceans, and hooked are conveniently bolded to ensure you recognize how clever the copywriter was. Recently appeared on the cover of Picketing magazine, same issue that a Roottrees related article appeared. That issue was removed from stores after Roottrees sued the magazine. Issue has become a collector's item, ripe for conspiracy theories about what the Roottrees are trying to keep from people. I feel like I'm gonna have to go back to that fucking conspiracy website guy. Um, uh, something. Clancid Trust. Clancid Trust. The Clancid Trust is the Roottrees company's usual legal arrangement and motivation for the arrangement. Recap: entire family earns inheritance directly from the profits of the candy company. Yeah. Cause the family slow to approve any major expenditures that could significantly dig into the profits. After the release of Six Pieces by Sam Madsen, the Clancid Trust came under heavy scrutiny. Sam, her children, and grandchildren should have all been covered under the trust. According to the wording revealed during an internal family conflict between Rod and Robbie Roottrees, it seems that those who wrote the trust purposefully deceived the rest of the family about the exact details of how it worked in an attempt to keep Sam and her father Edward Clancy, his own twin brother, to comparative property. Because the rest of the family made money hand over fist, they had very little motivation to question their understanding. Sam's book revealed this to the public, and it did not go over well. Clark Rafferty LaRoe took over the company, and his most celebrated move was his first official one. He ensured Sam's family would get their share. To help facilitate this, the inheritance aspect of the trust is now under the control of a third party, Ruby Legal Enterprises. This ensures the financial motivations of Roottrees family members will not interfere with the investigations to potential Roottrees. Clark's letter, however, some family members are still doing their best to slow the investigation by refusing to answer questions. How to find 5-piece guarantee hasn't been updated to for at least 8 months. Oh, so older. Roottrees versus RR. Anything new? Oh. Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees were never really celebrities, but the general public's perception of them as classic faces associated with the Roottrees Candy Company has always been somewhat high regards. This was Elias's intention as a family man with his high family brand. Since Six Pieces, the candy company has placed much less of an emphasis on Elias as a historical brand-connected figure, but there have also been those who have argued that it was his right to decide how to split his inheritance, and that he did nothing wrong. This has led to some heated television exchanges and countless op-eds. The first Anderson Maple Farm only used to be a popular tourist attraction during the summer months when it had special tours. However, it has since seen an explosion of off-season business as some religious and political groups decided to visit to show support for Elias and Gwyneth's traditional values and financial rights. This rise in support was in turn followed by pickets from gay rights activists when some particularly inflammatory organizations made their pilgrimages. Amongst all this conflict, the farm has since shut down seemingly indefinitely. The website says check back later, but has no date listed. The quotes from Bess Williams' book appear to have been taken down. Okay, just checking. What do I check? Wait, what I get? Right. Baselbub. Good one. Because it's popular gift to be filling home with satanic messages. This utensil will help you lose 50 pounds. Okay. Unreleased book she'd written about Guy Hudson. Used photos of a guy that Cicely did not own the rights to publish. Unfortunately, the magazine was issued a cease and desist by the Roottrees lawyers. The magazine was pulled from shelves, and the version found in periodical search had relevant pages removed, rendering this magazine useless, unless you want to read about a potentially demonic fish toy. Kinda do. I mean... Alright. 6 pieces. 6 pieces. Unwrapping America's Sweetest Family by Sam Madsen was released in early 1999 and perhaps assisted by the still relatively recent plane crash, shot to the top of the charts. Reviews were mixed, and its time on the bestsellers list was limited to only 2 months. Most reviewers agreed that the core of the book about Samantha's fathers and the struggles they faced was compelling and that the takedown of the hypocrisy of Elias Roottrees was deserved. However, many took umbrage with the timing of the release and the tone of the book, which seemed vindictive. The fallout from the book led to the Roottrees Company scrambling to release a statement, and due to a conflict of leadership, famously released multiple conflicting official statements over 3 days. This confusing move was referenced in popular culture due to a late-night sketch about decisionitis, but more traditional analysts have been calling it the Roottrees Rift. A few months later, due to Roottreemania, the book re-entered the charts and sold even better than the first time. Damn. I don't know what to call this page, man. Copy, Public Library, Sam Madsen. Sam Madsen's book was released earlier this year and details the truth about Elias Roottrees, as well as Sam's father, Edward Clancy Roottrees, John Miller. You have to verify her story, so much of this book's core contents are familiar to you. That said, Sam had some sections on other family secrets and rumors. Much of it didn't matter to the primary purpose of the book, and some of it is new to you and may be important to your new search. These sections have been added to your notes. Sam's book has a few different passages about her own history of the company and the rumors and gossip she collected during the tenure. Ran the farm for a period starting around 1968 after the death of Elias Roottrees until her daughter Gwyneth took over in 1984. Most of the relevant rumors that coincide with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as president in 1978. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy, and according to Six Pieces, it was an open secret within that family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Yeah, okay. Many of their hires at the time were young single women, and Guy often spent a lavish amount of money on private parties. Okay. So I don't know if these really matter, but I'll keep that there. Beta magazine. I think I can delete this. And she was pulled from store shelves, making it. Put this up here. Uh, Maybe I'd make this about Guy Hudson. Uh, it was an open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife. Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife. Uh, Guy often spent a lavish amount of money on private parties. This was 20 years ago, and Sam warns that most of it is hearsay. Still, you find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties. A caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. That music change is crazy. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with the Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Guy's main positive. Okay, I'll highlight that later. Guy's main positive contribution to the company involved expanding to markets previously untapped by Roottrees. However, when he went on trips overseas, they were often for weeks at a time, and Guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business than meetings with distributors and manufacturers. It was said that he bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. Jesus. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she has no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family using some kind of leverage, instead of it being a natural course of events. She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Elias may have cheated. Okay. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard her yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than a supervisor from the farm, but she never met her. Mm. Uh, yeah, let's delete the page. Elias and Beth. I'll update that. I'll delete that. I don't need that. Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife. Often spent a lavish amount of money on private parties. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. Rumor has it her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Caterer from a local restaurant got Antonelli's. Met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. When he went on trips overseas, they were often for weeks at a time. The guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business and meetings. The meetings. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may also cheated on Gwyneth. Uh, Said being a natural course of events. Mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth. Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than the supervisor for the farm. Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna guess whatever real quick. Okay. Okay. So that was a good search. Who's Beth? Secretary named Elizabeth. Guess we look more into Guy Hudson. Guy Hudson, who was only president of Roottrees for a few years in the late 70s and early 80s, had mostly faded into obscurity, except for the Fancy Flavors debacle. During Roottreemania, he suddenly rose to prominence again after 5Ps appeared on the cover of a magazine holding a photo of Guy and his mother. Oh, fuck. 5Ps appeared on the cover of a magazine holding a photo of Guy and his mother. A few people that existed adjacent to the company in the 70s have come forward with stories about debauchery and swinger parties. Guy liked to throw large holiday parties whenever he had an excuse, and they often got very out of hand. This fact has led some people to speculate that the night he died in a car crash, he was drunk or impaired in some way. But the Butler County Police have released multiple statements and ample evidence that proves decisively that it was not foul play and that no party had taken place. Roottrees lawyers have been quick to threaten litigation to anyone who's tried to disparage Guy or the company in public. Mm, okay. So let's go to Business Watch. Guy Hudson. Yeah. We like to think that boys and girls agree that he's ready to succeed. Nice job, dude. Zachariah Morden has a new picture to be found. 5 pieces of chocolate maple products are selling incredibly well. We don't be making any changes. Okay. Well, after the release of 6 pieces, Caroline Morden did a television interview. Someone had uploaded a partial transcript of that interview on the television section of the messaging community. Transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Caroline and some of her family members. Mm-hmm. 45 minutes. This is a cable news interview. Transcript of only Caroline's answers has been posted on the site about television. Thanks for having me. I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days. When I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all of her out of all of her tractors, but I don't really think it fit her narrative. Yes and no. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. But I was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. She's my wife. Not legally, but we've been together for half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and I just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable? Explain that. Interesting. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. What's her wife's name? Eloise? No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance, or woman, but he didn't like the entire woman. It was definitely awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. Damn. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. I assume that's about Elias Jr. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead. Not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I could say is we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back a lot judgier. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farm, she stopped returning my calls. Oh well, he's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than guys, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays he's just kind of boring and old. This is about Clark. I prefer that to how he used to be, and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring and old. Damn, bro. He's in advertising. Kind of makes sense, actually. The Game Boy. Damn. Yes! Even after solving the original Roottrees mystery, the thought of Beef Baby has stuck with you. It consumes your every waking moment. You must track down a copy. You email the reviewer who saw the Floozies live, and you offer her money. Too much money. At first, she doesn't believe you. Who in their right mind would pay a few $1,000s for a stupid cassette tape from a no-name band? Someone who earned a whole lot of extra money by completing a family tree. That's who. When the check clears, she has no choice. Beef Baby is finally yours. Oh shit. Now that you've helped Sam Madsen prove she was a real Rootree, you're rich. She gave you her share of the money, making you an instant millionaire. And we still live here. With your newfound fortune, you finally did it. The one thing you've been trying to do ever since your investigation. You finally tracked down a copy of Conquistador. It's time to listen to Beef Baby. That's fucking good. Oh, I'm so glad I decided. I realized that I had to wait until this time. Oh man, I was sick. Okay, what the fuck was I doing? I guess I can look up 5Ps, or I can see what else was on that. The Rootree Rift. Let's look at that. The three press releases from the Rootree Candy Company after the release of Six Pieces were referred to as the Rootree Rift due to clear conflicts between them. The first was fairly standard. It stated that there was no president of the Rootree Company, but that the entire family was made aware of the release of the book and that they would be meeting as soon as possible. Only then could they verify the legitimacy of the claims it raised and decide next steps. The second release was emailed to business newspapers 3 hours later and announced that after a vote, Ron Rootree would be taking over temporarily as an interim president. Ron. It also went on to state that Ron was aware of the book, had verified the claims within, and would look into compensating Mrs. Madsen and her family immediately. It also stated that the company lawyers would be taking immediate steps with the family to revisit the Clancy Trust terms to make sure nothing like this could happen again. It was quickly clear to business reporters and analysts that the time between the two press releases would not have been logistically sufficient to gather a majority of the family, even using conference calls. This was reported on many news channels, and a third, much shorter press release came the next day. It claimed that a draft of the announcement was made prematurely, and that Clark Rafferty LaRoe and Ron Rootree would be taking over as the company's first joint presidents. It also stated that any compensation plan would be based on a stringent verification process. Okay, so Ron's involved. Ron was announced as president of Rootree during the Rootree Rift, but the next press release immediately reversed the announcement and instead stated that Ron and Clark would take over. A few weeks later, Ron was dropped from the title entirely. There are hundreds of results about this development, but most articles are retelling the basic details. Some veer into heavy speculation based on an article about Ron in Business Watch. Ron has also done some interviews saying that the truth of what went on behind the scenes is not something he wishes to discuss. Instead, he hopes to release a movie about it someday. 3 weeks ago, Ron's mother, Gwen, died in Paris, France. He and his brother have seemingly made amends. Oh, Gwen's dead. Okay. Gwen Rootree was a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s because her role in the minor hit movie Guys Like Us died in Paris, France about 3 weeks ago. After leaving Hollywood, she made no effort to stay in the limelight, and most obituaries tend to focus on her largest role, Guys Like Us. Not much is known about her death, except it was announced that she died peacefully in her sleep while being treated for a sudden severe case of pneumonia. Before that, she had apparently been in relatively good health, according to her friends and family in Paris. She was 67. Mm. Robbie? Robbie Rootree was released from French prison after serving a few years for assault. His embezzlement and arrest were partially featured in the Six Pieces, as Robbie's participation in the Clancy Trust was a key piece of evidence in Sam's favor, and has since become much more publicly infamous. He has not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, he had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard on her family. My brother and I, after spending time together with caring for her and mourning, have finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction, and a major aspect of that process is that I wish I stayed private. Okay. It's Ron Rootree. In Business Watch. Business Watch ran an article about 2 months after the Rootree rift about what really happened with Rootree. The article mentions that nobody from Rootree that they reached out to was willing to go on the record. Instead, the timeline of events has been constructed from public record, accidental leaks, and a source on the inside. The only parts that are new to you are also the most vague parts, the ones supposedly confirmed by their anonymous source. The timeline says that the family actually had a preliminary vote after Carl Rootree died, before the release of Six Pieces, and decided they wanted Ron Rootree to take over because of experience running RR Productions, and because he was a well-known and well-respected Rootree. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. They were worried he would gut the Clancy Trust to remove Robbie Rootree. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. They stalled, and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When Six Pieces came out, he saw his chance to force action while the family was in the limelight, and released the press release himself in an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. This caused chaos within family. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch's source, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the clan's trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the role passed solely to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed like the safest choice. Okay. Interesting. So Ron leaked, or yeah, Ron released the second statement without the rest of the family. Let's make this about Ron. Uh, go in spider search. Let's go off of what's in Business Watch. Mm, the family. Uh, they wanted Ron to take over. They were worried he would get the clan's trust to remove Robbie. Uh, when Six Pieces came out, he saw his chance for its action was at least the press release himself. In an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. Allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch source, Ron was impossible to deal with. Uh, he seemed like he was unwilling to protect the clan's trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the role passed solely to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed like the safest choice. Okay. Interesting. Damn. Okay. Let me research Clark. Oh, roots under new leadership. Clark Rafferty LaRose is new president of Roottrees Corporation. Early March of 1999, and as both Clark and Ron would be taking over for what was essentially described as transitional period. 2 weeks later, the company released a press statement that thanked Ron for his work, but announced that Clark was the new permanent president. advertising career, and then his mother was Lauren Rootree, who seemed such as complex and volatile marital history. Clark has tried to remain out of the spotlight, but did have one notable foray into the public eye. He gained a lot of support when his first move was a statement in favor of accepting Sam and her family into the trust. This also served as an announcement that the Clancy Trust would no longer be handled by anyone in the family, since due to their financial motivation, none of them could ever be impartial. And I looked up Clark and Business Watch, right? Yeah, that's where I looked all this stuff up from. Yeah, and then I got all that from Ruby Legal Enterprises. Yeah. Um, the Root website has a small memorial section to the deceased members of the family, but it contains no new information. The most recent catalog has an entirely black cover with no text on it. On the leadership page, you learn that Root is currently managed by a designer who is apparently Brenda White's second in command. You don't recognize her name, as she seems unrelated to your search. There's also a scholarship page. On it, you find information about the Roottrees Sisters Fashion Scholarship. Ooh. The Roottrees Sisters Fashion Scholarship awarded to three underprivileged high school girls each year who wish to pursue a career in fashion. Apparently, it also gives them an opportunity to show off their designs and professional models on a real runway. According to the website, the fund was created directly from shares that would have contributed to the inheritance of the Roottrees sisters if they were still alive. Like other aspects of the Clancy Trust, it's managed by Ruby Legal Enterprises. Let's look this up. Oh, okay. The website used to initially place Raina, Rose, and Riley is still up, though instead of the cheery pink background with purple text, it's now a more traditional black text on a white background. The young webmaster has turned the site into a memorial for the sisters and their father. Seems like she did It seems like she did end up getting her ears pierced like Rose after all. Regardless, there's no relevant information, just a picture of the girls with the sad MIDI piano playing in the background. From other higher profile sites, you find that a charity has been set up in the girl's name, the Roottrees Sisters Fashion Scholarship. And that only leads to this. Uh, Ruby Legal Enterprises, yeah. It just leads there. Okay. Their mascot is specters, though they are not known for their sports programs as much as their education. Their legal and language departments are their pride and joy, though they also have a sense of computer science and robotics. Just under a little Ivy causes racist calling their newspaper the Heterold. This is a combination of Hedera, the scientific name for Ivy, and Herald. Their website boasts that they still have a historical technology museum on campus, including a still functioning computer from the 1960s that takes up a full room. They also have a printing press that they use to print uh, one special year-end issue of the Herald. Good lord, each year. Okay, New periodical. Yay. Herald is a school newspaper of Mid-Eastern University. Appears to be available in your periodical archive. Alright. Uh, Ruby Spratt. Ruby Spratt graduated from the top of her class from the Mid-Eastern's Legal College. Valedictorian speech was somewhat controversial at the time, as it was quite serious, with a heavy focus on wealth inequality. This didn't go over well with the predominantly middle to upper class audience in attendance. The editor of the Herald at the time said Ruby, unsatisfied by simply earning her place at Mid-Eastern with a full scholarship, went on to earn a captive audience of her peers with a perfect GPA. It felt like the ideal occasion for a celebration of an undoubtedly incredible individual. However, by the end of her speech, there were many in the audience that wished that neither of those events had transpired. It was a passionate attempt to use her soapbox to proselytize her fellow students and their parents into the religion of poverty. But unfortunately, judging by the silence, they remained unconverted. Damn. No, wait. Oops. I need to search that. Where's the highlight? Create highlight. Ooh, you tried, Ruby. Sports programs. Uh, mm, Roottrees Sisters Fashion Scholarship. Wrong one. Herald Scholarship. Okay. Let's go back here. Oh yeah, 5Ps. Move on to 5Ps, man. I thought I put 5. 5Ps, aka Felix Fellows, is a rapper who has found some recent radio replay after being publicly confirmed as a long-lost Rootree and entitled to part of their fortune. His alias, 5Ps, is a play on 5 pieces. An article you find on a website known for the particularly harsh reviews of modern music gives his most recent album, Root of All Evil, 1 star. Out of 7, for whatever reason, with the headline, More Poser Than My Action Figure Collection. Ow. The review mentions his real name is David, and he used to go by... The review mentions his real name is David, and he used to go by Dirty Davy, and the author rues the fact that this rebranding was a blatant marketing stunt at the expense of his mother's tragic past. She overdosed when he was 16. Ooh. Okay. Apparently, only one of the songs on the album is new, and the others were simply rewritten to turn blatant references to sex, drugs, and violence into clumsy euphemisms. His rise to prominence was kickstarted when he appeared a few months ago on the cover of News Time, holding a photo of his mother with Guy Hudson. Oh. At first, the Roottrees company denied it vehemently. Miracle Roottrees even appeared on the same magazine a week later. But since then, they've backtracked and publicly welcomed him into the family. Their press release at the time stated that they had new evidence that confirmed his story. There we go. News time. Rapper 5Piece famously appeared on the cover, claiming to be Roottrees. Then 1 week later, Miracle Roottrees did the same, denying that he was. Because of this high-profile back-to-back discourse right before the start of Roottreemania, they appeared to be the de facto publication to get news about the ongoing Roottrees saga. They reported record subscriber numbers during this time, which lasted until the end of Roottreemania, when the world generally stopped paying much attention and they went back to reporting on more traditional news. News time appears to be available via your periodical search. 6. Okay. Davy. His real name is David. A blatant marketing stunt at the expense of his mother's tragic past. Uh, he appeared a few months ago on the cover of News Time holding a photo of his mother with Guy Hudson. Alright, guess we check that out. Periodicals, News Time, 5Ps. Felix Fellows, aka 5Ps famous, appeared on the cover of News Time, kicking off Roottreemania. Then a week later, Miracle, Dear God, appeared on the cover of the magazine. Summary of both articles as well as close-up of the photo 5Ps is holding on the cover of his issue has been added to your evidence. There he is. Felix Fellows. Oh, wait. Okay. Appeared on the cover of News Time holding a photo of mother Guy Hudson. Concerns his insistence that his father was Guy Hudson. The story was dramatic and sensational, and initially dismissed as fake until the DNA test proved that he was related to Guy Hudson. A DNA test proved that he was related to Guy Hudson. Hmm. His says that his mother Joanna was Zach Morden's secretary when he retired, and then Guy Hudson's secretary for only 1 or 2 weeks after that before she quit. The first few weeks that he was president. His parents divorced when he was 4. After his father learned of the affair, Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her and her son's life. He grew up with her until he was 16, but one day his mother never came home from the movie rental store where she worked at the register. The next morning, they found her dead from an overdose in her car. She had stolen all of the cash from her drawer and spent it on heroin. As Felix went through her belongings, the only thing he had to remember her by were a hairbrush she always used, some photos, and a stuffed animal from her childhood. But then he found it, a box hidden in the back of her closet. Inside were love letters and photos related to Guy Hudson, as well as a letter from his father containing threats. He threw it all away with the exception of the one photo he appears. He threw all of it away? Exception of the one photo he appears with on the cover of News Time. He says it was the only one where they were dressed. The only. Oh. Okay, that's fair. The only one not from the affair itself. The picture is shown in full inside the magazine and was added to your evidence. The magazine also includes some additional history of F5P's career. Born Felix Fellows of Riley. Born Felix? Born Felix Fellows to Riley and Joanna Fellows. Was never rapped without a moniker. Tried to find success by opening for other artists and even by selling CDs on the street corners in Portland. Only recently started going as 5Ps to harness the power of his lineage. Writer did some research into the truth of these claims and was able to confirm that Joanna did work for the Roottrees company as a secretary sometime during the early to mid 70s. Also confirmed she died of a drug overdose and that Felix went to foster care soon afterward. They were unable to track down his father. They also reached out to the Roottrees company by at the moment, the company's blanket statement was, since the release of a recent book, Roottrees has seen an overwhelming number of false ancestral claims. None have been factual, and nearly all have been knowingly dishonest. We encourage individuals to reach out to us in an official capacity, as opposed to attempting to use our name in the media for publicity. Okay. The only good, addition here. 1921, 1949. Holy! 1975 to 1982. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay, so I gotta figure out which branch is his. Joanna did work for the Roottrees companies as a secretary sometime into the early to mid 70s. Early to mid 70s. And then this one was 1940. Okay, so this is fucking Guy. This is absolutely Guy. Oh, brother. Which president was he? Second? Third. Yeah, third. Third. Check that out in a second. Root Tree Family Picnic. Rapper 5P's appeared on the cover of News Time holding the picture of his mother Joanna when she was Zach Morden's secretary at a company picnic. Claims that Joanna and Guy Hudson, also in the photo, were having an affair that led to his birth. Oh, Guy. Is that his first affair? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is 5P's. He has a star. Is that his real name? Was David? Dirte David. Dirte Davy. According to a fan site, Felix Fellows is not 5P's actual name. His birth name was David Fellows. Okay, there we go. There's some people still telling us old mixtapes on auction sites when apparently called Dirt A Devil and Another Dirt Poor. There's discrepancies and debates about what year exactly it was released based on some of the pop culture references, for the range thought to be somewhere between 1992 and 94. One of the songs, Yes I Can Jump, seems to be at the center of the confusion. Okay, I'm jumping ahead. Some fan sites claim that there are multiple versions with different track lists and song lengths on them, though because there's very little evidence of the mixtape online as it is, it's even harder to verify that information. Yes I Can Jump is a song that was on 5P's mixtape Dirty Devil. Seemed to be the only song that didn't make it onto a studio album that people thought should have. In it, he reminisces a popular movie from 1992 called White Man Can't Jump. Can I Google this? Or search this? Damn. This reference has caused some confusion among the fan base. Because of it, it is agreed upon that the mixtape had to come out in 1992 at the earliest, but others point out that Fellows references seeing the movie on his 17th birthday. This would have been on 1994. Some take this to mean that the album had been released in 1994 at the earliest. Others claim that he was likely just trying to make himself sound older, since in response to some of the more questionable lyrics, he has stated multiple times that he was just a dumb kid when it was released. 17th birthday, 1994, born, 84, 84, 80, 70, what, that makes him 77, born 77. Whoops, did not mean to. Didn't reordering. Uh, okay, Dirty Devil. Another dirt poor. Whoops. Dirt Poor was a mixtape of Dirty Davy released in 1996. A lot of online discourse from people who like to point that in one of the songs. Felix Fellows included someone that would be revealed to be his own distant cousin, Raina, and a list of attracted women. That's fucking weird, man. Lyrics to one of the songs, Heat, mentions a few different prominent female actresses, models, and musicians from the 90s, and provides a crude pun or line about what Fellows felt about them. When re-released in 1999, much of the rhetoric was toned down to be less overtly profane, and the line referencing Raina was clumsily replaced by Dana, a reference to the character from the X-Files. That shit is fucking weird, bro. Like, oh hell no, I can't have this on my mixtape again. Yeah, one of the songs, Heat. No, Dirt Poor. What the fuck? Okay, fine. Dirt Poor Heat. Damn. Can I just search the X-Files too? Damn. Okay, so taking that, David Fellows. Unless rappers on here. Nope. Musician. Oh, two. Oh wait, right, three. Clark or Guy. Oh, four. Okay, it's by four. Booyah.
Has Clark reached out to you? Well, let me give you a short history lesson about the last few months of my life.
Okay.
3 different people contacted me, claiming that somewhere in their history, they might be Roottrees. First, that young man, the rapper. I ignored that one. He seemed dubious. But then I saw the news.
I was like, oh fuck.
I felt terrible.
Oh, okay.
So I began helping the others. Because my doubts with Felix were so misfounded, I ended up putting too much faith in the second person that approached me.
Why do you change the name to Felix?
I went to the media prematurely. I admit my mistake there. But the third person who contacted me also had a credible case. Before I could help, the company got to them somehow. The fact that the family silenced them doesn't seem to fill me with hope when it comes to Clark's intentions. But you're making progress based on the leads he gave you. It's really hard for me to get a read on him. I'll let you handle it. I've sent you the case I've been working on, and some company
Gina
records I
Clementine.
managed to
Mary
track
Beth
down.
Clementine. Company records?
The records are quite dense, but hopefully they're useful. Good luck.
Okay. Oh, now I got boxes. Okay. Mary Beth Clementine. This photo was given to you by Sam Madsen. A woman named Regina Clementine came to her and claimed that her husband has confessed he thinks he's a root tree. The details of his case can be found in your evidence. Stewart is the older boy wearing a vest. The woman in the photo is Mary Beth Clementine, a singer who may have had an affair with Miracle Roottrie. Ooh! Miracle. Her husband has confessed he thinks he's a Roottrie, though. Hmm. Interesting. Let me read. Yeah, this one first. Miracle Roottrie appeared on the cover of News Time shortly after 5Ps did. He vehemently denied that 5Ps was a Roottrie. This article is from before the DNA test that proved it. Miracle doesn't focus much on the details of 5P's accusations regarding his mother and Guy Hudson. Instead, he comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the character of those he feels are attacking his family. He starts with 6 pieces content. He says that although most of the book was based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. He points out Sam's daughter still earns a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Roottrie, and that Sam did the same before her. That Sam's family was not destitute, and that really it was only her son who chose to take on a job with no salary. He claims that though they didn't have to, the family helped pay for his son's medical bills after voting that it was the right thing to do. Miracle also says that the story about his father, Elias, shunning EC was one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum: stop sinning or be disowned. Okay, yeah, Christian. Miracle says it was EC's own choice, and that Elias allowing him to earn food and shelter on the company's dime was a kindness, especially considering that he and John continued to live together. Miracle then pivots to the fallout from 6 pieces. He recounts a deluge of claims to the Clancy trust that the family has been subjected to. He doesn't say any specifics, but says that every time someone comes forward, the family devolves to arguments. They've had to hire an outside legal team to help, but so far every case has been demonstrably, laughably false. All they do is tarnish his family's reputation. He focuses on 5Ps, who appeared on News Time before him. He calls him a grifter and a delinquent and says he is using their name and products to sell filth to the masses. Of all the accusations, he says this is the most dangerous because it exposes the world to hatred. It's 5P's lyrics as violent, sexist, and ungodly. Ooh. And prays the boy will repent, retract his lies, and find religion. I should finish this candy before. Keep reading. Lastly, he turns to the future. Miracle states that those that wish to hear the true story could join him on his farewell tour this upcoming fall. The Miracles Roottrie are planning on touring the country's churches one last time, and that now at age 71, Miracle is the oldest living Roottrie. While he plans to continue reaching at his own while he plans to continue preaching at his own church in Butler County after the tour, this is your last chance to hear the truth from the man with the most complete recollection of one of America's most notable families in your own hometown. Okay, he only has one thing. Interesting. because it has one more paragraph. The article mentions that Miracle's son, Miracle Jr., did not wish to comment, and has a statement from Clark Rafferty LaRoe through the Roottrees law firm. Miracle does not speak for his entire family. We're working carefully on a plan to definitively disprove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. Miracle does not speak for his entire family. The article also does not refute Miracle's claim that he's the oldest living Rootree. The article also does not refute Miracle's claim that he's the oldest living Rootree, despite Sam Madsen being born the year before him. It was unclear if Miracle made the claim out of ignorance or spite. Hmm. Miracle does not speak for his entire family, working carefully on a plan to definitely prove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. So maybe instead of Miracle, it's Miracle Jr., unless I forget. I'm forgetting a detail earlier. Mary Beth Clementine with Miracle Roottrea, and Mary Beth is alive and also relatively young, so that's probably either Miracle Jr. or Miracle the. Well, actually, he's a youth pastor, so I don't really know. It's probably Miracle Jr. Did I highlight that? Yes. Company records. Wow, look at those company records. You were given some partial staff records to cross-reference by Sam Madsen. These records are based on old tax mailing information and only detail the employees that work directly for Rootree or in their corporate office. The many laborers on their farms and in their factories are not listed. You're not sure how helpful it will be, except for cross-referencing guys' secretaries and visits overseas. Spider searching people just because they are listed in these books will likely be very time-consuming and a waste of your time. Leadership. Company records 1975. Leadership: Zach Morton, Ernest Madsen Jr., Edward Rootree, Lloyd Carpenter, Colin Monroe, Elizabeth Cravensworth. Okay. Eli C. Rootree, Fred Cross, Albert Cross, Douglas Rosenberg, Julia McCullen, Joanna Robertson, Doris May, Beth Knox. Farm and Manufacturing, Samantha Madsen, John Miller, Elizabeth Farrow, Thomas Green, Fred Gleason, Stuart Todd, Sam Harmon, Robert Logan, Michael Crane, Jack Keating. Okay, it's good that John Miller is still alive. Major expenses, none. Zach Morton retirement party, Beth Knox 50-year work anniversary bonus. 50-year work anniversary bonus. 1926. Eli C. Rootree is no longer employed by the Rootree. Interesting. Ernest Madsen Jr. is now listed in product management. Christine Farrow is hired. Joanna Robertson is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but Joanna Fellows. Oh shit. Joanna Fellows and Beth Knox are no longer employed by Rootree. Damn. Christine Farrow is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but Christine Garland has been hired. Oh no, Christine. Someone mentioned Christine earlier. Ruby grew up in foster care somewhere. mentioned something about her. I feel like someone mentioned something about Christine. Oh no. Brain's getting filled with John Miller no longer employed. Gwyneth Madsen was hired. Uh, 1977 announced that Zach would be retiring and Guy would be taking over at the start of 1978. Held a retirement party in November before spending the final month working on the transition, 1976-1977. Following changes took place. Guy Hudson has replaced Ernest Madsen Jr. as special management. Patrick Decker hired. UIC Roottrees. Ernest Madsen Jr. is now listed on product management. Special manager Ernest Madsen Jr. 1978, Guy Hudson took over, began a particularly volatile period in the company's staffing. Many travel expenses were listed, and Guy began trying to develop new five-piece flavors. Guy Hudson replaces Zachariah Morden. Edward Roottrees, Elizabeth Cravensworth, Lloyd Carpenter no longer employed. Raffertoons now listed as office staff. Okay. Albert Cross, Fred Cross no longer employed. Christine Garland no longer working with Roottrees. Beatrice Watts, Corinne Schwartz hired. Julia McCullen, Doris Mays no longer employed. Lisa Lewis, Valerie Ewing were hired. Thomas Green, Michael Crane, Elizabeth Farrow, Jack Keating no longer employed. Emily Seinfeld, Sam Cattrall hired. Sam Cattrall. Is that? That's someone's husband, right? Ah, okay. Yeah. Robert Logan no longer employed by Roottrees. William Sams hired. Susan Ford hired under a special category that only existed for 1 year. Special Services Interpreter. Interpreter? For the... Oh, wait, for the overseas expansions. Okay. Right. I assume that's what it was. Jesus Christ, bro. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Presidential office refurbished. 5 pieces flavored development. Caviar. Edward Roottrees retirement party. Christmas tree bash. New Year's Eve ball. Damn, bro. Travel expenses. Australia, China, France, Brazil. 5-piece flavor development. Butterscotch. That's a decent flavor. 1978, 1979, 5-piece flavor development. Fat caviar. 4th of July spectacular. New Year's Eve ball. I feel like butterscotch isn't a bad one. Caviar is fucking awful. The volatility continued. Many new employees didn't tend to stick around very long. Following changes were recorded. Terry O'Connor hired. Susan Ford moved to office staff. Who's she? Douglas Rosenberger no longer employed. Red Morrison or entries hired. No longer employed. Corinne Schwartz, Beatrice Watts no longer employed. Linda Lewis, Angela Ingram hired. Lisa Lewis and Valerie Ewing no longer employed. Catherine Garrett hired. William Sands no longer employed. Eileen Smith no longer employed. Emily Barnes now listed. Gwyneth Madsen no longer employed. Gwyneth Cattrall is now listed. Gwyneth Madsen no longer. Wait, Emily Seinfeld no longer employed. Emily Barnes now listed. Gwyneth Madsen no longer employed. Gwyneth Cattrall is now listed. Yeah, because that's when she married. And then I assume that means Emily married a Barnes. Susan Ford no longer works in this department. Five-piece flavor development strawberry. Five-piece flavor development Sequoia. What the fuck is Sequoia? What? Oh. Oh, yes it is. I'm so stupid. My dumbass forgetting my own language. Butterscotch. Bro, you're still on this caviar shit? Get off. Get off of it. Stop. Grandorf Dove donation. What the fuck? The Grandorf School for the Deaf, formerly Grandorf Dove, is located about an hour from where the Roottrees offices used to be in Butler County, but it serves much of that part of Pennsylvania and nearby Ohio. According to their website, it was formerly named Grandorf Dove because Grandorf was the last name of the founder, and Dove is the Spanish or the Spanish Danish word for deaf. The founder has had issues with government translators, leading to an odd transcription issue. Interpreter. So the interpreter was either for overseas like relations, translating stuff, or someone was deaf. 1990, renamed to better represent the school's purpose and to correct the embarrassing lack of effort and awareness demonstrated by the government officials in those early days. Uh, Staff is listed on the website. You can scan through all the biographies to find the principal, Miss Ford, is fluent in 5 languages, including ASL. Miss Ford, that was Emily Ford? Wait, not Emily. Uh, Susan Ford. That's the wrong one again. She's been working at the school for over 15 years. Miss Ford's bio also mentions she's not deaf herself, but rather learned sign language to communicate with the deaf. Mentions that she was responsible for securing funding for the Hudson Wing. Interesting. Okay, so someone was deaf? Someone was deaf. Terry O'Connor, maybe. If Susan Ford moved from special services to office staff. Terry O'Connor. Oh, wait. Okay. Bro is fucking spending this shit out of this country. Holy shit. Guy Hudson died May 1982. First few months of that year continued along the same pattern as they had been. Things quickly changed when Ernie took over. Most of the extraneous expenses ended. All of the secretaries, most handpicked by Guy Hudson, were let go. Sam Madsen left Roottrees in 1984. So this is the last set of books you have access to. Following changes were recorded. Ernest Madsen replaces Guy Hudson. Carl Roottrees joins the special management. Office staff Susan Ford no longer employed by Roottrees. 1983, no change. No change. Ernest Madsen Jr. no longer works in this department. Douglas Rosenberger rehired. Angela Ingram, Linda Lewis, Catherine Garrett no longer employed. Here on out, no secretaries are directly employed by Roottrees. Roottrees instead uses a temp agency called Work Time Temp. Okay. Victor Logan hired. Stuart Harmon no longer employed. Amy Sutton hired. Sam Madsen no longer employed. Major expenses: 5-piece flavored vanilla sugar plum. Canceled after 5 months. I feel like sugar plum would have been Nice. Sugar plum strawberry, butterscotch caviar. Those would have been good. Nice flavors. Cancel that 5 months. Cancel that 5 months. Cancel that 5 months. New Year's Eve ball. Right. Fred Gleason 50-year work anniversary bonus. Mm. Root clothing reimbursement. Carl Rootree. Okay. One. Okay. Regina Clementine email. From 6pieces at prodigy.us to genealogy genie at prodigy.us. Genealogy genie. This is all the information I have of Regina Clementine, nee Salazar. Regina Salazar. From New Orleans, Louisiana, her husband Stuart Clementine. She wrote me about a month ago. This is her, right? Regina Clementine. Regina Salazar. Okay. Apparently, the Roottrees lawyers went after her since then. By the time I received her letter and called her, she told me she couldn't cooperate anymore. Her husband, who was a police officer and never knew his father, told her he thought he might be a Rootree, but he's estranged from his family and didn't want to pursue it because he had no proof. She wrote to me behind his back. Normally I wouldn't be so sure, but she has had some pretty credible facts. Some of it I've been able to confirm. Stewart's mother was named Mary Beth Clementine. She was pretty well known in the 30s to 50s, a singer who went on tour to a lot of churches. You can look her up online, and she was a pretty big proponent of adoption. I know for a fact that she came to Butler County a few times. I remember her from when I was a kid, and Regina said that Stewart told her that they always seem to spend a lot of time at the Miracles Church. She sent me a photo to prove that she's who she says she is. I've attached it to this email. Sam Madsen, 6 pieces unwrapping America's Sweetest Families out now. Please consider saving a tree and not printing this email. Well, this it got printed. Okay. Go back to this. Retrain Anonymom. Roottreemania immediately followed the announcement that a rapper going by 5Piece was actually Roottree. Collectively, a popular culture seemed to focus on the Roottrees family for a few weeks before everything felt oversaturated and society moved on. Because of the 5Piece saga, underlying through line to how pop culture treated Roottreemania was an excuse for everyday people to claim they were also Roottrees. Daytime talk shows had I'm a Secret Rootree episodes. Late night hosts and guests made jokes about other lost members of the family, and there was a widely shared website where you could fill in your own name to find out if you were a secret Rootree. When you submitted your name, it simply said no, with an image of Clark Rafferty LaRue giving you the finger. Oh, that's good. That's so good. Roottreemania lasted only a few weeks, just long enough for 6 pieces to re-enter the charts and to trigger new printings of other Rootree-related media. This includes Lauren's diaries, VHS releases of Gwen's own movies, as well as countless other unauthorized biographies, which mostly seem to attempt to capitalize on the Rootree sisters, Carl and Brenda. These re-releases were too late to successfully capitalize on or extend the craze. As a result, most of them were failures, and countless novelty shirts that had variations of I'm a Secret Rootree became immediately unfashionable, though some people still wear them ironically. They're gonna if this game blows up, I can see that as merch. That's fun. Anonymom. Probably gonna search a little bit. Just look at these real quick before I get off, because I'm a little sleepy. Anonymom was the second high-profile case after Felix Fellows of a potential new Rootree being added to the Clan's trust. Instead of claiming herself as a Rootree, however, she claimed that she slept with Guy Hudson and that her daughter was a Rootree. The accusation came during the height of Roottreemania and began with a brief TV interview. She appeared in the shadows with a disguised voice, promoted an article about herself in News Time. TV interview and the article, she referred to her daughter as Jane Doe Rootree. The name Anonymom was not self-inflicted. It seemed to spring up organically because nobody knew how else to refer to her. The day after the News Time article, Sam Madsen publicly supported Anonymom due to some parts of the story she found particularly credible. With the momentum from Sam's endorsement, Anonymom went on media blitz. Ultimately, this backfired as more details came out. People became skeptical of her story due to the extreme similarities to 5Ps. Her accusation even included many of the same details as his mother's story. This included her job and the same time period. After fumbling the five-piece story so publicly, the Roottrees were more prepared to handle all kinds of trust-related cases. Within a week, a DNA test proved that Anonymom's daughter could not be related to the Roottrees. This was announced at a joint press conference with lawyers representing both Anonymom and the Roottrees. Each party ensured that their respective clients provided accurate samples. Immediately after the negative results were released, many of those who had already been skeptical felt vindicated. Others who had built up hope that history could repeat itself after five-piece felt duped. Uh, Many people suspected the whole affair had been a hoax to gain fame and money. Many demanded that Anonymom be held accountable, and some people even began to attempt to track down her true identity. The Rootree company felt pressure to put out a second statement to try to curb some of the backlash, even going far as to say, though it was scientifically proven that Jane Doe Rootree is not a Rootree, this doesn't mean that her mother and Guy Hudson were not involved in an affair. She had every right to make her claim, as it had been verified that her stories about Guy Hudson were not exaggerations. Please leave their family alone. Many people claimed this high-profile anticlimax and public backlash was the beginning of the end for Roottreemania. Since much of the fun was the shared fascination about secret Roottrees. Others think that, like any fad, it just ran its course naturally. Regardless, this was the final notable event related to the release of Six Pieces, and things soon went back to normal. Jane Doe Rootree has already been eliminated as a potential new Rootree by the company's lawyers, who are the ones verifying your work. And Anonymom's affair does not appear on your updated tree. Damn, that would have been cool if it actually was somehow. Okay. So another red herring. Okay. This is exciting. It's Miracle definitely somewhere in here. Miracle is definitely 1921, founded in 1908. Miracle is born. Can I look up the fucking five pieces? The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2. By Charles Lee. Okay, I don't have it anymore, right? Oh, archived. Oh! 1928. 6 years after the debut of Five Pieces. Found this advertisement in the Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2. 1928. So that's true. That's 1921. That's 7 years. 1949. Miracle is. That's when Miracle is born? Miracle Senior is going on a new tour of the United States in late 1999. Preview flyers. Oh yeah, he did say he was, 71? Almighty doesn't die young, but fate had different plans, long for life. Saints and Sinners provided a unique perspective on one of the most notable families in the United States today. Learn what originally showed from his fortune into the arms of religion. Learn how his life has become more wealthy in spirit than it ever could have been from his inheritance. Also lists the churches he will be appearing in and mentions that tickets are personal. And mentions about Miracle's news appearances. Interesting. Interesting. this upcoming fall. Okay, July 19th, 1999. Yeah. Um, he's 71, so 99. That makes it born 28. 1999. Yeah, 1928. So we go back to that. 1928. 1928. Okay, so he was born in 1928. So 1928 to 1949, that's 21 years. So he was 21 here. So this is absolutely miracle creature. So bro had a fucking secret uh affair potentially before, or yeah, who knows. And that comes into play with fucking Clementine. Okay. And this shit's gonna be uh Elias. Elias and Beth. Who I don't have a picture of. President first. Beth or Elizabeth or Mary Beth, and I see where the problem lies. Okay. Did I have that? Elias and Gwyneth Fernandez argue about sometime. The woman who's Beth once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth, the supervisor from the farm. Okay, well at least we know who our main suspects are. Elias had an affair with a Beth. Miracle had an affair with a woman, Clementine's mom, or something like that. And then Guy had a lot. He had a lot of secretaries. Okay, wait, did who's fellows? Only 1 or 2 weeks after Guy Hudson took over, uh, Joanna. So Joanna. Okay, fuck. Playing more than I meant to. I went to go to sleep. But 1978. Wait, I'm so stupid. I forgot that we already know their last name. Joanna Fellows? Wait. Joanna Robertson no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but Joanna Fellows has been added to the list. That's when Joanna. Right, and we figured out earlier that uh, when they change. When it's listed like that, that's just like a name change. Because she got married. Uh, yeah, and then 1977 replaced Ernest Madsen Jr. Special Management. And then a week or so later, Joanna Fellows left. Knox worked there for 50 plus years. Or like 50 years. No longer employed. So that's possibly Beth Knox. I'll just Beth Knox. It feels too easy. Joanna Fellow. Oh, wrong one. Fellows. She's dead. She was a cashier. And there was something about the party. Uh, Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met. Let me go back to this. Patricia met. One of Sam's farm supervisor's name was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter, Joanna. Uh, oh, completely scratch everything I said earlier about her fucking last name being already knowing her last name. It's not. I don't already know her last name, or I didn't already know her last name because it was in the book, in the files. So which is Robertson, and then she became Fellows. She married someone named Fellows. She is Robertson. Joanna Robertson. And then go back to evidence, and then go back to the wherever that was, the 6 pieces. Elizabeth Robertson had a daughter who Sam never met, but worked as one of Guy's secretaries, who is Joanna Robertson. Caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. That caterer being Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor had that her daughter showed up with a guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Oh, motherfucker. Okay, I'm kind of on a hot streak with this. Antonelli's. Antonelli's is an Italian restaurant and has been in the Butler County Times twice. Most recent times was when it closed, 1992. Owner Rochelle Zimmer sold the land the building was on. At the time of the article, she was unsure if the restaurant would move to a new location or if she would retire. Many years before that, there's a puff piece from Valentine's Day in 1978 that asked recently married residents in Butler County how they met. 1978. Christine Garland responded. She and her husband Steve, who was a chef at Antonelli's, met years ago when she delivered produce from her mother's farm. Steve used to work extra hours just to be there during her deliveries. Although they grew apart when the restaurant switched suppliers, they reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. Now she has a bun in the oven, and they're both working as much as they can. She's a secretary, but went back to delivering produce on the weekends, trying to save up money to move to Boston and open their own restaurant. What the fuck? Oh shit, wait. So Elizabeth is. Wait. Met years ago when she delivered produce from her mother's farm. Used to work extra hours just to be there during her deliveries. Although they grew apart when the restaurant switched suppliers, they reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. This is not. This is a completely separate woman. Fuck. Fuck. That didn't lead anywhere. Okay. Yeah. I don't know where to go from there. Let's play some Family Doku before. Let's play one thing of Family Doku before I decide to get off. Patriarch and a zero. Father has a hyphenated last name. Father has a hyphenated last name. Only the first part of the last name will be passed down to his children. Carney. Roberts. That's one of them. Well, I mean, they go in order, so LMN. I know that does make sense. But this is the only thing that makes sense. Sarah Roberts. Uh, Ike Mortimer Patrick. LILM. Or LMP. Shit, they do have the same. She definitely goes there. So if it is Patrick Carney, then that doesn't make any sense. Cause That makes sense. And then ILM, and then NPS. There we go. This game is one more. Hyphenated last names always created from the last name of both parents with the father's last name first. Yeah, father has a hyphenated last name. Only the first part of the last name will be isn't that the same exact thing? Hyphenated last names are always created from the last names of both parents with the father's last name first. Yeah, I already knew that. Maria, Marilla, Maria. Only the first part of the last name will be passed on as chosen. Morty Hamilton Horn. Chad Hamilton and Angela Horn. But there's lots of horns. Marcus Horn Jr. Makes sense. A M R Horn. Chad Hamilton, Morty Hamilton Horn. Uh, does that work? Makes sense, I guess. Wait, yeah, Carlton Horn, Horn. Uh, oh fuck. There's a Christie. Same name as. But she's first. Who does she inherit Christie from? Unless Christie's. Oh. Fuck it, I'm finishing this. Ooh, finally! In the case of adoption, the child's last name will always be passed down from the rectangle above them, not the spouse. Okay. Ooh, we got some fucking Asians in here, some Chinese people. Ooh. Uh, Larry Chung Jr., Larry Chung the third. Just Ibarra. There's more pews, so it's one of, so starts with a pew, I think. Wait, Hamilton. That was Hamilton. Okay. Is one of these people? Oh, that's why Carlton Horn. I'm thinking. Okay. Hmm. One of them's gay. Kara Singleton. Toby Patton. One of these girl. Hmm. Where do I start? Oh shit, you're right. Okay, wait. Fuck. Child's last name will always be passed down from the rectangle above them. So that works. So it's Pew. Pew Pew. Let's put a Pew there just for now. This will be where the Chungs are. Mark Chung, Larry Chung Jr., Larry Chung III. Christine Chung, Larry Chung, Larry Chung, Francine Pugh, Amy Pugh, Amy, Francine, Steve, or Mark, I guess. Oh, whoops. Wrong way. Makes sense. Ooh, oh, Chase Carlton, Mark Carlton. There we go. There we go. Father and son share both first and last name. Must have a junior pendant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Priscilla Eastman. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple of leads. There's a Mandel, there's a new mayor, there's an O'Shea, there's two Danielles. Uh, she married in Daniel Sprouts. Daniel Sprouts' daughter of Daniel O'Shea. They split? Oh fuck, they added splitting in the game? Patriarch, matriarch. Okay. There's only one Mandel. So Sally Mandel, Sally Clow. There's one, two, three, four, five Sprouts versus four Clows. So I think these are the Clows. Oh fuck, Tom leads, Miriam leads. Oh fuck, there's leads. Hmm. Something tells me Tom leads is here. Alice and Miriam. Jane Newmary, Jane Clow, Chris Clow. Mm, yeah. So, wait, that doesn't change anything. Hmm. I feel like this is like the right uh sort of makeup, but I can't. I guess I could fit that over there. Alice, Miriam, Tom. In which case, that's Mike. And then I ran out of clothes. So, ran out of clothes. Guess I can also do this. Well, I can't do that because, yeah. Have a Danielle O'Shea, who is presumably somewhere in here. But then I'd have someone. Okay, we'll figure that out later. That's basically what I needed to have. Tom leads, Alice leads, Miriam leads. unless they're over here. Danielle O'Shea, Danielle Sprout. But it can't work like that. Who fits where? Which side does the sprout come from? And there's Tom leads and Miriam leads. That's hmm. 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 This Peter Sprout Jr., Peter Sprout the third. Danielle O'Shea, Danielle Sprout. What? Oh, fuck. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that works. Okay. There we go. That's not where we go. Fuck. Okay, in this case, then we do this. That makes no sense. Oh. Oh. Fuck. Fuck. No, I can't fit that over there. This is Peter Sprout Jr., Daniel O'Shea, Daniel Sprout, Peter Sprout, and Priscilla aren't. That doesn't work. We do Peter Sprout. Peter Sprout, Peter Sprout Jr., Peter Sprout the third, with unless Sally is not. I guess maybe if it's Jane Newmeyer and then Jane Clow, then Chris Clow, and then Mike Clow, and then I don't have any. Oh yeah, I didn't realize that they're fucking. So maybe if it's Mike Clow and Jane Clow and Tom Leeds and Alice Miriam here, and then Sally Mandel and then Chris Clow. That makes no sense. Fuck. Yeah, and then well, I guess I could do this, but then I still don't have another Clow. Hmm. 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 Clow. These two have to be Clow. That's all I had to do. There we fucking go. Justin Unger. If a father and son share both first and last name, yeah, yeah, yeah. In the case of adoption, child's last name will always be passed down from the rectangle above them, not the spouse. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, 4 Antonellis, 4 Levines, 3 Ondens. Oh god. James Pepper Jr., Bellstone, Ike Worthington are spouses, so none of them are gay. Crazy that only factored into 2 puzzles. Bellstone is the mom of Belle Onden. So there's only 3 Ondens. So Onden. Ike Worthington would be here, so that's that, and that's like that. Okay, that's good. Clarence. There's James Pepper Jr. Oh wait, fuck. Clarence Onden had to inherit the name. Hmm. 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 Peter Antonelli. There's 2 Peter Antonellis, which means that they skipped a generation, right? Yeah, it skips a generation. Grandfather, grandson, yep. Misty Antonelli, Misty Levine. There's only 3 Levines. I guess they could skip a generation, so it could be Corbin and Misty. We'll ignore that for now. James Pepper Jr., Lay Pepper, Sarah Pepper. I think it's like that. J L Sarah. It was no, yeah, that makes sense. Unless you're up, but it does make sense. I think it's Peter Antonelli. Yeah, okay. There we go. Peter Antonelli. Oh, and I'm lost again. Fuck, I don't want to reset, man. So what works? Peter Antonelli. There's only girl Antonellis. That's the only place where it works, I think. Yeah. Shonda, Misty, Peter, Misty, Levine. So it starts with a Levine. Corbin Levine, Brentley Levine, Trixie Levine. Bellstone, Onden, Alex Onden, Bell Onden, Ike Worthington, and then Corbin Levine, Brittany Levine, married to James Pepper Jr., Lay, and Sarah Pepper. Yes! I beat Family Doku. Fuck yeah. Who gives a shit about the Roottrees anymore, right? They're fucking old news. I'm on the Family Doku shit. Okay, yeah. That's good. That's gonna be it for me for now. Save and quit. Alright, I'll get back to the actual mystery tomorrow.